What is your strongest held opinion? Left lanes are not for cruising 10 miles per hour under the limit. Move the hell over. Just because you're older than me doesn't mean you're right and I'm wrong. That most people don't deserve a driver's license. I spent too long scrolling and forgot my really good advice. I would rather be excluded for who I include, than included for who I exclude. Question everything. Never stop asking why are things the way they are. Why? Listen here you little shit. That this toothpaste should not be recommended. Those other 9 dentists can go suck it. The vocal minority do the most damage. Sidewalk is for regular walkin', not fancy walkin'. The school system is broken. MLM companies should be banned. Sometimes the bad guy has a point, even if he's still the bad guy. During late 2018 and early 2019 there was a huge undercover Reddit marketing campaign by bidet manufacturers to sell more bidets. This ended when a comment once joked about how there had to be some sort of bidet conspiracy theory. Becca say they were seeing so many posts praising them. Think back. I guarantee that you've noticed how many comments like I love my bidet and it changed my life, and I could never go back. You've seen here on Reddit a while back, you couldn't throw a rock in a thread without calling in the bidet praise squad. But, since that one joke about it being a conspiracy, they all just vanished overnight. My guess, Big Bidet flew too close to the sun and got spooked. And without that sweet cash flow, Redditors didn't have any more incentive to talk about bidets. Which is why you don't see any more comments about it. There is no war in Ba Sing Se, Big Bidet. Turn signals matter. Trash doesn't belong on the ground. Find a trash can. Everyone's an idiot. Some more than others. If you only get your information from one source, you aren't informed. The whole don't do unto others what you don't want done unto you thing. Just because you disagree with, dislike someone doesn't mean they deserve to be treated poorly. Libraries are absolutely vital public services, and politicians who attempt to bleed them dry through slow cuts to funding are depriving their communities of a fundamental good. Always strive for improvement in physical condition, intelligence, and the lives of those around you. Try to put yourself in the other person's shoes. Understand the circumstance then judge. Add on, if someone is doing something that literally does not affect you or anyone else, leave them the alone. My strongest held opinion is that we do not value humility enough. All of us, each and every one, are flawed and ignorant and speak beyond what we should because of our own biases on a regular basis. Too often we argue things or double down on things we are not properly informed about or have our judgment compromised by our own biases on, and it only hurts all of us. Being educated does not mean you're intelligent. If I learned anything in college it was this. I have 2 college degrees and I met plenty of stupid people while I was there, including some professors. Not everyone was stupid obviously, but it was definitely more than a few. I've also met plenty of people who have never set foot inside of a university that were significantly smarter than me. The owl is no wiser than any other bird, but he specializes in the night. The red-tailed rides the thermals better than any hummingbird who beat wind. Meanwhile the carrion birds gather about that which no other will eat. We are specialists and we are generalists. And we are all subject to our nature. Probably these 2. Believe whatever you choose to believe. Treat others the way you'd like to be treated, even if they really don't deserve it. People don't always change. Leave my underwear out of this. It can happen here. Doesn't matter much what it is, or how long ago it happened last. People are still people. We just have fancier toys now. It can happen again and it can happen here. Plan accordingly. Chris Brown. Songs with sirens in them shouldn't be played on the damn radio. Sexual assault charges, including molestation, sodomy, and child sex charges, as well as human trafficking and child porn, should carry heavier sentences than drug charges. It's BS that people who have actually changed their lives and haven't been around the drug lifestyle for years can't even get a decent job because of a record and the societal view of it due to the government money machine war on drugs. People should stop blaming all their farts on the dog. Nice try dog. Opinions should not be strongly held in the presence of fact. If you look down on and/or mistreat waitstaff, janitors, retail workers, etc., you are an awful person regardless of anything else. One of the most important things for anyone to develop is empathy. Hand shot first. If she cheats with you, she will cheat on you. My brother had a girlfriend who one day brought over her best friend to meet him. When girlfriend was out of the room, best friend told him she was a better cook, a better cleaner, and a better and that he should go out with her, not the girlfriend. So he did. Dumped his girlfriend and started dating this girl. When he told me, I immediately told him to dump her or he'll be sorry. He didn't, and he was. How could anyone not understand that someone willing to do that to her best friend was a It's okay to be weak when you're at your breaking point. It's okay. This remake spree that Disney is on has made this into a lazy era of filmmaking. You can't control how you feel, but you can control how you act. To be human is to be imperfect. Life's meaning is made, not found. Life is essentially meaningless. The fact that you're a minority, whether it be by race, gender, sexuality, etc., does not stop you from being racist, sexist, homophobic yourself. I've seen this way too much in my life. At least in the US, the school system is extremely inefficient and wastes a lot of time. Cereal first, then milk. Vaccines are necessary and important, and if you're more afraid of your child having autism than you are afraid of your child dying from a preventable illness, then maybe you shouldn't be a parent. Also, for the millionth time, vaccines do not cause or remotely have any effect on one's chances of being diagnosed with an autism spectrum disorder. Science should be at the heart of our decision-making process for all that is important. Side note: science is a method, not a result. This means that our body of knowledge will change over time. Embracing what we know we don't know should be seen as a sign of strength, not weakness. For the stable, responsible parents of Reddit, dealing with and raising children can be made easier by remembering that you were a half-feral monster from the foulest depths of hell at their age. You won't be any less annoyed, but it might help you keep your temper in check when it comes to correcting the summoning ritual. Nothing worse than when a 5-year-old screws up calling the eldritch horrors from the inky black of oblivion because they get distracted halfway through by We Bare Bears. Epstein didn't commit suicide. Haven't you heard? The fact that the first suicide at the MCC in 21 years was this billionaire who apparently had the dirt on a lot of powerful people is in fact totally unremarkable. If you believe anything different, you're one of those conspiracy theory types like the people who think we didn't land on the moon. We need more nuclear fission plants and also need more money into nuclear fusion research. Politicians are public servants and are there to serve the people. If they are found to be corrupt or partake in any illegal activities, they should have all their assets seized, therefore impacting their families, and then thrown in jail for life. The abuse of the public's trust should be regarded as treason. Reality is often disappointing. There are two sides to every story. Cheating is one of the worst things you can do in a relationship. It is always more satisfying to win rock, paper, scissors with rock. If I can't eat mozzarella sticks on the reg, then what's the point? Andrew Yang, if elected president, can and will meaningfully improve the lives of all Americans. People who want to change, will. Your circumstances might be shitty, but you're the only one who can make something of that. No one can do it for you. Nuclear power is the best form of clean energy, and not giving it a chance is robbing the future of a clean, reliable, high-output source of electricity. Respect the result of the rock-off. Everyone, not just the elderly but them especially, should be required to retake the driving test every 5 years or so, written and actual driving. If you fail, license gets revoked and you don't get it back until you can prove you can be a safe driver. I think this might just be recency bias, but it has been on my mind a lot lately. Prisons must operate on a system of rehabilitation, not punishment. It's the moral way to do things. It is better to try to rehabilitate 100 inmates, even the very worst, and fail at 90 than to not try at all. People say, well, certain people are irredeemable. Firstly, no, they aren't. There's statistical evidence to prove that even the worst criminals can be rehabilitated, can be, not will be. Secondly, and more importantly, when you start deciding who is and is not worth fixing, you open the system up to abuse. Again, it is better to try with everyone and fail at most, than to not try at all and have some come out the other end okay. This is especially important with regards to the death penalty. Animation as a medium deserves more respect. Vaccines don't cause autism, and not vaccinating your child is stupid. That's not an opinion, it's science. That dads need to be a part of their children's lives. Water is the best drink. It's more important to know the truth than to be happy. As George Bernard Shaw put it, the fact that a believer is happier than a skeptic is no more to the point than the fact that a drunken man is happier than a sober one. The happiness of credulity is a cheap and dangerous quality of happiness, and by no means a necessity of life. Further, to grasp the truth, you have to be willing to take a glimpse into the darkest recesses of existence. Don't dwell there, but have a look. Weird Al Yankovic is a comedic genius. Non-white people can be racist too. Monopoly is a fun game if you play without house rules like free parking equals jackpot. The biggest rule that makes the game playable is the one most people miss. If you land on a space and don't buy it, any other player can place a bid of any amount on that space. The other players can then bid, and whoever has the highest bid gets it. Actually following the rules can reduce gameplay down to an hour or two instead a week. Teaching kids a sanitized version of history is worse than teaching them nothing at all, and no beloved historical figure who committed atrocities is just a product of their time. To say so disrespects all the people of the time who fought against injustice and opposed them. Same too for the victims of the atrocities. Try not to judge people based on a single interaction. They might secretly be having one of the worst days of their life. Everyone should have access to healthcare. Your ability to stay alive and keep your family alive shouldn't be dependent upon your wealth. People that choose not to vaccinate are selfish.